Hello and welcome to the Brett Tippie podcast. I'm here with Big Brad Ewen, and this is a man that I've known for a long time, old Kamloops buddy, and you might have known him from being one of the founders of the Java Cycle bicycle shop in Kamloops, BC, and promoting some early racing here in British Columbia, Western Canada, as well as being a longtime announcer, live announcer at Crankworx and at RedBull Rampage, and moving on to doing a bunch of promoting and whatnot in the motor world, and a cyclist still to this day. And here he is in the flesh, Big Brad Ewen. How are you, man?
Good, dude. Thanks for coming, man. It's kind of nice to have you in my garage.
I know. This is a cool garage you got.
Bring her into the inner sanctum.
You've got the 67 Pontiac, you're saying back here?
65 Pontiac Parisienne,
65.
made in Oshawa, Ontario.
327?
327.
Nice.
It's not original. I wish it was that guy, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's got more horsepower than stock, because stock sucks.
You've got some Q bikes in here, I see. And
yeah, they've been very good to me over the last couple of years. Andrew Gomez is awesome, and this is the 215 Pro. It's a slope bike, one of 8 in Canada, and it's fully valved and ready to go for, that type of year. I guess we're going to get into the dry season here coming up quick, so we'll dust that thing off and go for a rip on it for sure.
Let her rip, right on. Well, many people know you from, the announcing bit. That's how,
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm Canadian.
sorry, not sorry.
Sorry about that. I apologize up front.
When I first met you, you came from the north side of Kamloops over to South Kamloops, where I was going to Kamloops Senior Secondary, and you were dating a very attractive girl in our school. So I'd see you, visiting. That's how we met and became friends.
Yeah.
And then
Partied. We went to a couple parties back.
Yeah,
in the day.
totally mixing different sides of town and whatnot. But then you helped founded a bicycle store, not the first mountain bike store in Kamloops. There was Psychological and NorCam, Lock and Cycle, and Spoken Motion.
The IG ones for sure.
Yeah. But you started a shop that was also like a coffee shop, and had some food, and you were licensed.
Yeah, we were licensed. Yeah, we were one of the only licensed bike shops in Canada. It was I believe a first. Bring your bike inside the shop, hanging on the wall, and. I was very fortunate. I traveled a lot and saw a lot of cool stuff prior to opening Java. I was in the ginseng industry when it was hot. And we would go to Baltimore or Maryland, which is the architecture is insane. You got to go blue crab. You got to eat the blue crab there. It's amazing. Anyway, but I came back to Kamloops and I'm like, God, I would love to open a coffee house. And I love bikes. I've always had passion. We all have, right? And so I dreamt about it. I drew pictures and I had the folding accordion trays full of, costing on cups and saucers and everything. I did all the work pretty much as much as I could, but I was underfunded, so I needed to get some partners, and I got some, great partners, and we had a hell of a run at it. It was a lot of fun.
I remember after the Crank movie, we'd go there and you'd feed everybody, feed the crew, feed the riders, feed the camera guys, and
Pulp Traction. Yeah, the whole thing was that if anybody from the industry was in Kamloops, the red shag carpet was open at Java. You came and eat and drank for free, and then we'd go out on the town that night, and we'd meet our nightlife friends that were amazing to us.
Yeah, totally.
We had such a great time. It was a very special time in my life for sure. I never change it.
As well, like the Terra Firma films with Guy Perrette was there, and for your opener, Guy rode up the steep stairs on the side of the building, and then came in, and then you had him do donuts on the floor.
Yeah.
And then he rode out and then descended the stairs with his big KTM or something.
Had my cop buddy sitting outside waiting for Guy to come up, but he came up, and it was our staff member Sherry Beecher was working, and the whole place is packed with all the bros and everybody, and
it was on a big KTM like 620 or something.
Yeah, it was a big monster. Maybe it was a blue and white Husenberg or something.
Was it Husenberg?
I think something gnarly.
Yeah,
Guy Perrette's a legend.
6-time Canadian dirt bike champ.
Just saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Muddy as dog.
Crusty Demons, the dirt movies,
No, he did the massive drops. Oh my God, I love that guy. But yeah, the Terra Firma 4 and the credits at the very end, he comes in the coffee shop, stops, talks to Sherry, give me a double latte quick, grabs a latte, splashes it all over his Enduro jacket, fires it up, and then proceeds to do a first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth gear burnout in the shop. Smoke everywhere, and they were freaking out. And then he just fans the clutch and then drops the stairs onto First Avenue and proceeds to wheelie up First Avenue. But then my buddy Cup is sitting there and then chasing my, but he wasn't really getting in shit or nothing. But it was awesome.
Hollywood, baby. Hollywood.
Yeah, it was just doing it for TV, buddy.
Yeah, I loved it.
But it was so great to have, Christian Beijing and all the legends and Chris Winters, and Patty Kay and, the whole inner sanctum of legends, we've been very fortunate.
Simmons and Schley and Lunchbox Larry.
Lunchbox, love that man. And
yeah.
Scott Dixon, I love that dude too. He's doing some amazing things out in the world. Another BC boy crushing it. So it's been a very interesting ride in the world of life. But I'm very fortunate that I'm super into it now, man. Like I've always been into it. Having super sick bikes, because I believe the reason the aftermarket was created is because stock sucks. So the bikes have got to be as trick as they can be, right?
And we're all bike nerds on the inside.
Totally, right? We like architecture, sky formations, land formations, and
purple anodized brake levers.
Purple ano's coming back, man. I've been saying that for 30 years.
Do you know the difference between pink and purple? Grip.
That would be correct. That'd be correct. Yeah. So anyway, but that was sort of the whole the run of it. And we when we got Java Cycle at that time, Gary Fisher released the XO series, or the Y downhill bikes at that time.
I had one, a Joshua Y.
Wasn't it? What was it? The Zedo with the flames?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I hucked some drops in Cranked. The original Cranked 1 on that Joshua Y Gary Fisher bike. And
so deadly.
Yeah, it was.
And then that's great. The year 1, we had Canty still, but year 2, they came out with Hayes disc brakes. And I'm like looking at these things going, why don't we have disc brakes? And we live in the desert, semi-arid desert, south central interior British Columbia.
BC Interior, Shuswap Highlands.
Yeah, if you look at it, it's actually the very northern tip of Death Valley. Stated. And anyway, so it's very dry and dusty here. So
we got cactus, we got rattlesnakes, we got sagebrush.
It's a very cool ecological geographic location for sure. And but disc brakes obviously changed the game. And being a bigger guy, we go through pads like all the time, right? And disc brakes come out, and I'm like, yeah, dude. So at that time, we were selling Gary Fisher, and we were the first Da Vinci dealer in British Columbia, trying to call them, Felix, I need a derailleur hanger. There was no internet. There was nothing like derailleur hanger. Yeah. Anyway, we wouldn't get derailleur. We'd get headset spacers.
2 words, sounds like.
Headset spacer, derailleur? No, well, we'll take it. Thank you. Anyway, so it was Intense. We sold Intense of the day. And, James Downing, another legend.
Roach Clothing.
Roach
Armor.
Ingrid, yeah, love her. Godspeed. And we were very, very lucky at a very special time in the mountain biking scene. I think
it was blossoming then.
Dude, it was vibrant for sure. And mountain bike racing really wasn't a thing. So we decided to get together and start putting on mountain bike races. So we go to approach Sun Peak. Scott Quibell, legend, right? Love the guy.
He used to give me free passes.
Yeah.
He's a legend in my book.
Cycles Lambert, Rock Shock. If you ever need anything, call him Scott Quibell. No, I'm just kidding. Love that guy.
Not kidding.
Yeah. Anyway, good, super good dude. Hi, Harv, his dog. He's got a great dog named Harv. Anyway, and so Scotty, approached the uppers powers of B within at Sun Peaks, and we want to do mountain bike events up there, and cross country, cool, whatever. We take you off in the trees, whatever. But we wanted to go downhill.
There was no bike park yet, though.
No, there was nothing. There was what, a berm? No. We were actually one of the first group of people to put berms in the ground, actually to carry speed through transition, and it was really a special time. And as we grew from going up to Sun Peaks, and the first guys to put a bike on the chair, you put the seat between your legs, clenched onto it, and then put each bar, your straight bar, a little bit of a bend, maybe a little higher rise under your bar, but pretty flat under your armpits, and
the bar ends.
Yeah, basically, yeah. With grab-ons, and you get to the top, and then synchros grab-ons actually, and basically we were started making downhill courses at Sun Peaks, and then at that time they're like, well, we need an announcer, we need to inform the people. Well, I'm like, okay, well, let's give that a whirl, and it started off very. Here comes Brett Tippie with a time of 2:41.73, the fastest time of the day, right? But and then it got a little more animated, and I got, a little more comfortable with myself, and we started doing events everywhere through Penticton, British Columbia, Silverstar. For the people that, remember, we ruled the scene.
What was the Silverstar race? The double dog?
Yeah, there was the double dog downhill, and Jamie Morrison, absolute legend, and Denise Morrison. They were very hospitable over the years up there, and Matty Pinto, and all the crew up there that put so many hours. Cam Sorensen was another key guy, and anyway, these guys all put together a hell of a show up there.
Speaking of a hell of a show, I remember not just the races were happening, but also I remember you setting up jumps right down the main street of Silverstar. And people were like, tweaking and doing tricks off each jump, and it was kind of like an early slope style, if you will.
Silverstar night drags.
And Silverstar night drags?
The night drags, So we had a drag strip light. Corey O'Clair one line, Captain Chris Colbeck on the inside. Colbeck wearing a tutu, Richie slaying tights. Who's going to first? Sprint. Leclerc, moto berms. It keeps the tabletop low. Captain overshoots her like into almost Coldstream. Hits the ground. Oh, dude, he was a flatliner for a while. We pulled him back. He was good. He came into the Vance Creek Saloon and hung out with our good friends of Arthur Funcarelli, and we put a dent in the earth. The band. They were rad, and basically put a dent in the earth that was, it was insane. And Tomac back in the day in this black skin suit racing Silverstar, on Air Canada DH, stuff that was so rad, and. So basically, Silverstar was a very, and Penticton, the guys in Penticton, Kurt Flamin and the guys at Freedom Bike Shop did an amazing job there. We would go down, and Corey Adsit from Bear Mountain Challenge. We were seeing these people every other weekend for 3, 4, 5 years. So there's a very special community.
I remember one race at Penticton you guys had going on. You had a dual slalom, and I think it was Cody Began.
Yeah,
was playing a prank on one of his friends, and he put a crushed aluminum pop can in his back wheel, and then as the start went off and the gate dropped and they started racing, the can sucked into the frame, went and then the racer he was racing thought it was mechanical and stopped and relaxed and sat down and kind of laughed at him, and then as he kind of just kicked it with his heel and then just power wheelied out of there and dropped him and beat him in that run.
So great.
Couldn't believe that it actually worked.
Oh, so great. Yeah, the dual slalom racing that we had back then was incredible. The crisscross crash dual slalom at Silverstar. Shut up, okay? Don't even go there. That was it. Probably the best time ever. Probably 2,000 people on the side of the hill. Speakers that came with Eddie Van Halen and the team of Van Halen back in '83, dude. We were crushing the scene, dude. It was sick.
People camped out, parking in the parking lot in their vans, and come from all these little mountain communities that were getting to know each other and meeting together at these races, and sessioning and racing and partying, and it was really raw, cool time.
On the tower, I'm sitting up there, in a lawn chair originally, and then as things progressed, I'm going, this sucks. Like sitting in a lawn chair all the time. I'm like, let's go down to the secondhand store and buy a couch. Right. And that's sort of how the couch thing started. So I would go to, the local secondhand place in Vernon or wherever, grab a shitty couch, and we'd sit in there, and you'd never put your hands between the cushions because you just didn't know. You didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm not going there.
Yeah.
You going to go there? Anyway, okay, I'll go.
You have to respect bacteria. It's the only culture some people have.
Exactly. So we get the couches, and we'd have guests come up and see us. Steve Mitchell was a very frequent guest of the couch and Silverstar, and I would start off with, Steve Mitchell is one of the most eligible bachelors here today at Silverstar Mountain, and he loves long walks, sunsets, puppy dogs, ladies, and to this day, it's folklore. For those of you who know.
I remember hearing you sometimes, and you'd be like, Jenna Jameson, please report to the announcer tent. Jenna Jameson, please report to the announcer tent.
There was an urgent family matter.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know. But she's from Coldstream, and she's a wonderful lady anyway. But it was fun. I tried just to entertain myself. Actually, one of my favorite things, because basically when I'm talking on the mic, burning dead time, it's because we're covering up the other guys that aren't doing their jobs. So the more you hear of me, right?
Well, luckily you have strong shoulders, so you know,
I can hold
the shoulder together.
You want the guys and you get the timing down and hold everything, go, right? So the more you hear the announcer, you're like, you're burning time. But so I'd grab the local newspaper, like in Aspen, Colorado, and I'd open up the thing, and I'm like, all right, Well, ladies and gentlemen, right now we're going to go to the personal section. There's a single white female that's NS. What's NS? Non-smoker, and we just start reading out
Just something random.
just random. Because it's in the paper, so anyway.
Must be true.
Yeah, it's got to be true. So anyway, I was just really entertaining myself, and I was very lucky that doing an event at Whistler, traveling to all the events, and we were down there, and Jamie Simon was the head lady for
doing like BC Cups and Canada Cups.
Yeah, I was traveling all throughout the province, and then we went down to Whistler, and it just so happened that I'm on the mic being an ass, and Jamie Simon from RedBull North America was up on a holiday, and she heard me, and she came up and talked to me after, and we broed down and had a hell of an evening howling at the moon, and Pete and Stevie Pete drinking not much tequila, and
a lot of Stellas.
Cedric Grazia.
Oh God!
CG
on fire in
what's
Whistler.
Up, what's up, CG?
Oh my God!
Yeah, such great times. But we I remember it being daylight many a times with CG and you, and Simmons was with us many times. Anyway, Larry but yeah. So she asked me if I'd be interested in doing some work with RedBull. So next thing I know, boom, I'd get an email.
And RedBull wasn't that old at that point.
There was no RedBull in Canada at all.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to sell it. It wasn't approved by the health.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, I'd get an email or a phone call from RedBull Travel on a Tuesday saying, okay, we'd like to have you in, Marquette, Michigan, wherever. And so we started traveling. It was pretty much every other weekend for about 9-10 years, actually. It was a hell of a run. It was really super fun. Like, I can't even tell you. Like, I referred to it as Clark Kent and Superman. So all week I'm just chilling at the house in my bunny slippers, a laptop, doing global logistics and container freight, and moving the bicycle. And this is after Java, and basically it was like not even real. Like it was like, you roll into wherever and there's the Red Bull girls in their jacked super killer car, Hummer or whatever, and we'd go up to Alaska to do the snowmobile competition or whatever. It was so fun. Yeah.
Yeah, so like one job leads to another, and then you kind of get grandfathered in, and then all of a sudden, like, you're the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it was like, I had no idea what was going on, dude. It was just happening so quickly, right? It was insane, and very fortunate to, Rob McSkimming was amazing to me in Whistler, and every year he had my back, and I came down there and did events for many years before it turned into the big corporate machine that it is now, and it's fantastic and it's tight, but certainly we're there at the grassroots of the mountain bike scene. And I'll tell you, history repeats itself. We're going to put on some cool shows coming up in the near future, and going to bring it back to the way it was.
Yeah, raw and fresh.
Yeah, corporate and nothing negative at all. I just think that there's a place in the market for that. And you know what? I'd like to howl at the moon again with you one night. Let's align the A-team and give her. But yeah, so we were traveling all over, man. It was great. Flew tags and.
Speaking of the moon, Aggie, who we did a podcast with earlier today, was mentioning how you had mooned the cops at some event, and they chased you.
Oh, dude!
And then you talked your way out of it.
Well, actually, it was we were in Winter Park, Colorado, Crankworx, Colorado, and I liked partying with the Spaniards.
Andreo and his brother.
Luis. Yeah. And Aggie, we got along good. And because it's just fun to blow out the carbon, right? And we generally light her up harder than most. And we're making our way back from the bar, and we're going through the village, there's not a person around, and there's this big maze, and we're just and when Andre and Lewis grabbed the lawn chairs and just start hucking them. I'm like, I'll show you how to huck lawn chairs. Like, I'm a big guy. I grab a lawn chair, and it was like, twice as far as these, athletes could chuck. And, we're walking on the village. Next thing you know, Smokey and the Bandit show up, with the flat hat.
Oh, yeah.
Like full on state trooper. Google that shit. State trooper looking. And so the state trooper guy goes, and he looks like he works with what's his name? Hey, Boo Boo.
The bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's his name? What's the bear's name?
Oh, not Baloo.
Yogi.
Yogi.
Yeah, he looked like Yogi the Bear's sidekick there. Ranger Dick. Anyway, she was a dick. Anyway, but so there's two of them, and they got Andreo cuffed, and Lewis is just like, dude, he's like talking his way out of it, and I'm, 30 feet up the road. Well, I'm an ass, so I pull my pants down halfway down my ass and pretend to start doing my shoe up. Well, out of nowhere, Smoking the Bandit 2 comes up and tackled me. And
I heard they ran after you and you ran.
I ran, and then they tackled me, and then next thing I'm like, click, click, and I'll never forget it. I wasn't bleeding that time because I bled pretty much every single time I went away. But the cop says, did you know that public nudity in the state of Colorado is punished by a pedophile offense? Whoa. I did not know that, Honor. Like I'm like, whoa, dude! Like,
okay,
I know what you're talking about. I got a really high torso. My torso's long, and these are short pants. Like, my parents are brother and sister. Like, I don't know if that's true. No, it's weird. Anyway,
go to family reunions to pick up chicks.
Yeah. Anyway, we digress. But yeah, so anyway, we talked ourselves out of it. But that is a very true story for sure. It was, There's another classic one. We were at Marquette, Michigan, where. They have the max security prison in the U.S. Supermax. Don't go if you're there. Ouch.
The hardcore.
It's pretty gnarly, right? Anyway, so we're staying in this hotel. Big D and the whole crew, the free ride team are there, and Derek Dijon, Lejo, and oh man, it was the whole inner circle, and of course rain delay. Well, we're stuck inside this bar for 2 days, and finally the owner goes, "It's okay, Brad, you bartend, just keep a tally of everything." He leaves.
Oh, no, he did not say that.
The door, I promise he said it. It's so true. The door closes and I go, "Excuse me, guys, hey, drinks on me." Next thing, just oh my God, yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, it's so amazing. Yeah, Jordy Lund, doing incredible stuff way before his time, and a pleasure to be with that man for so many events globally throughout the world.
Were you there announcing when he did the first Cork 720?
I did at Claw's event on the island.
Yeah, Washington.
It was insane. Actually, thinking about it right now, I've always had a thing when something, like, I do get goosebumps when these guys do shit, because I truly live vicariously through them. I know exactly what's going on, torsionally, suspension wise, or when these guys are, going for it. It's like, and then the mental, it just blows my mind, dude.
You were announcing when Paul Bass was like on a borrowed bike and won the slopestyle at Crankworx.
Yeah, white t-shirt, and comes in and kicks everybody's ass.
On a borrowed bike.
On a borrowed bike. Paul Bass is a legend.
And then he did it again the next year.
Yeah. He's been, actually, PB and I are super tight. We talk often, and he's been very good to me. He helps me with Ride Concepts, available at fine retailers everywhere, and my footwear. He's a phenomenal man. So my hats off to him. And we haven't talked on e-bikes yet, but he's running an e-bike because he can actually ride it.
Yeah,
he's had some difficult incident. And
big crash at Rampage.
And he came back, and God, it's. And that's where really being an announcer, seeing the progression of the sport. And that was always the thing. It was about the progression, how it's going to get better and gnarlier, but it's more consequential. Like, Aggie's down right now. You saw him today. He's got a fractured leg, but he was just, being Aggie, crushing it and being a badass. But it's just, it always made me so nervous inside, because not only are the riders, but they're my buddies, and God, like, we all get nervous, right?
Yeah, it is. And there's that like tension in the air where what they're going to try. And like when Andrea was going to try a double backflip, and Cal McGarry was going to jump the whole thing, and Timo Pritzel going huge and
backflip, black flip, Timo Pritzel backflip over the Flathead Valley at was a winter event that we did in Montana. It was ridiculous, dude. Timo rocks. Still crushing it today. Follow him, man, if you don't, because Timo was a legend.
Yeah, Timo Pritzel.
Yeah, love that guy.
He was ahead of his time.
Yeah. Someone we don't talk about often enough is Super T. I love that
Oh,
guy.
you know what? Him and Romo, when they get together,
dude,
they're I don't know if they're trying to be funny, but they just are. They're like a cartoon couple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dylan Tremblay,
Oh, yes.
Dude, another guy that I just,
Dan, the drop-in bus.
Yeah. Dan Cowan.
Yeah.
dude, what's Dan Cowan doing?
I don't know, but I caught him. I was doing an interview, and as we wrapped up the interview, I looked down, and he was standing on a rock to make himself taller.
Of course.
And I'm like, "Did you learn that from Richard Slayer or what?"
Isn't he a math teacher or a science teacher? Like super smart.
Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't seen him for years.
I believe he's a teacher, and Dan Cowan in the North Shore free ride team. Yeah, and so he's a phenomenal guy. And we get making our way down to the Kootenays and hitting events down there. It's been hanging out with Big D. When I was in the ginseng business, Big D came and saw me, and I was one of the first guys to buy a full page ad through our ginseng company, Sunmore Health Tech. And we did the very back page of the free ride book, and he was on the front cover. Nice. And I kept that book forever. And when free ride started rocking, like the 7 year or whatever, we came down to a whaler party, which for those of you that were at those parties when we were there, dude,
like a rock star party.
Oh, buddy, you have no idea, right? Like seriously.
I can't remember much.
I don't even know. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, but it was just a very special time and very true to my heart, and it's I'm just so thankful that to travel and live vicariously through these athletes, and Jamie Simon for believing in a guy that just was full of BS, and yeah, it's been a hell of a run for sure. And then from there we I still had a real job, and we were doing container freight, but then we got Guy Perrette, when I'm out in Toronto visiting these guys, I announced a snowmobile event at Sun Peaks. And so these guys, we started, hanging out, having some cocktails afterwards. And I was going to sleep on the bench seat of my 1972 F100 slammed 7 inches in the parking lot. I'm good, man. Got my blanket, and it's fully repolstered, 390 dialed. Forgy was sick. And so he's like, no, well, you're good. Come and stay with us. So I ended up, hanging out with these guys from Toronto, Andre Lauren and Keith Hamilton from OTSFF companies. And basically we hit it off. And next thing I know, I fly in a plane about 2 weeks later to Toronto. And I've been working with the guy for the last 18 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we've gone from, sponsoring Guy Perrette in the World 6 Day, as you mentioned, and hucking him a bunch of dough and being out here. And actually, the day my son, Caden Ewen, was born, that day, Andre and Keith were in town. And I'm like, honey, this is when Caden's coming home. I got to go hang out with the boss, right? So next thing I know, we're quadding up in Barrier, Snowline in August, and Kim's at home with my son and with grandma and everybody, right? But I'm like out shredding with the boys and my kid juniors. So he's now 18 to be 19 this year.
Yeah.
It's amazing how time just screams. But yeah, I've been working with Andre now, and we've gone from offshore race boat, and I've been Andre's marketing director for the last 18 years. So doing snowmobile, snowcross, hill climb. We've done Rockstar Supercross. We've done with Rockstar Yamaha factory level, Suzuki level, Superbike. So I've been involved in every facet of that behind the scenes. Preparing the press release templates and hiring the photographers and, getting all the infrastructure in place and making sure my mechanics had all their inventory. So the mechanics would report to me and I would, hey, Brad, I need 6 more FMF pipes. Are those ones with the tie with the carbon cap, or do you want the whole titanium one? We're going full tie, right? Like whatever. So I would be the partsman for them as well. So I would facilitate the inventory behind the scenes and still facilitating container freight with, I really didn't do a whole lot because we have a team of people that do that, but you need something moved anywhere in the world, we can do that. And so, yeah, and Andre's been very successful. And as we, migrated into motocross and our OCD on the most trick dialed bikes that the world can provide, anodized billet hubs and, trick as trick can be.
So back then dirt bikes, stock were probably 10 grand, 8 to 10 grand back then.
Yeah.
What were these trick motorcycles, these works bikes? What were they, worth?
You're probably 50, 60K in the motor.
Wow.
Yeah, just in the motor. Then the suspension's a whole nother game, dude. Like the athletes would rip the suspension out of the fork tube and throw them in their gun cases, and they'd travel back home to the U.S. And because the suspension's valved and set up for your weight, which is critical for any top level athlete, go see James Downing's Suspension Works in North Vancouver.
Who worked at Java Cycle back in the day too.
Dude, the guy's a savage. The guy.
He was your mechanic tech.
Yeah, and he actually traveled at the factory level. I can't remember what team it was. I can't remember. Was it Giant or Giante? I can't remember.
But he's he's a suspension guru for sure. Yeah, Suspension Works in North Vancouver.
Yeah, no, it's all about suspension. But anyway, so these athletes, so these bikes, they could be 80 to 100 grand, and so we would sell these bikes at the end of the year. Everybody would get a brand new 450 motor in it, or 250, right? And it's a full bike because the suspension's never seen dirt, and the engine's never seen dirt. The wheels have never seen it because the wheels were dialed, and. Anyway, so we basically, I've been, how I love my trick OCD stuff. I OCD'd on the most dialed dirt bikes and super bikes and snowmobiles on the planet.
Well, you learned about, setting up suspension, more than ever in the motor world. But when you go back to the bike world, you had that knowledge to take with you. How did you set your bikes up? Because you were like a big guy. You're like, how tall are you?
6'4".
6'4". And you were like, what,
342.8 was the max.
342.8 pounds.
Yeah. Ouch. Yeah.
So how did you set up your suspension?
When I dislocate my jaw, I could eat a wildebeest. It was weird. Totally one bite. Funk.
Yeah. Like a chicken wing.
Yeah. Keep the bone. We'll make soup. Yeah.
So you just have like the massive spring and then set up the preload like crazy?
You know what? And appreciate me for this, but the technical aspect I appreciate, but I leave it for the wizard. He puts it on.
You have people for that.
That dude, it's his deal, man, and I appreciate that. But you start talking orifice size and fluid viscosities and shiny object. Yeah. Right? But I get it, and I very much appreciate it. Trust me, man. Like having the bike set up for your weight, and I've talked about it so many times, and it's critical. Going into a corner full apex, and you're G'ing out now. So on top of your speed and your overall body mass into the corner, and plus your speed or inertia, that bike is going to start G'ing out. Right, so you want to make sure you're not going to hit your bottom or box out bumpers and drive your fender into your front wheel and go over the bars you go. Your brake arch, because you're running 3.0s.
Wearing your shoes out your armpits or your boots out your armpits.
Yeah. So it's all about suspension. Whatever. You can have a guy in a stock 250F and the guy's got the trick suspension and dude, it's all right.
Yeah.
So,
you got the super tech guys, then you guys, they're calling it dampening.
Yeah.
Dampening makes you wet. Damping makes you fast.
Exactly. Totally. So we basically we're doing supercross and motocross for so many years, and we got a number of number one plates, lots of number twos, lots of number threes. Bob Canary, moto legend, love that guy, and we go to Nanaimo every year, and Steve Claw and the crew and Jordy and the gang would come over and see us. We'd have our 53-foot race trailer with the hospitality, and Sorgi came down and signed autographs with us one year, and yeah, it's so great to kind of keep the inner circle of bros. And yeah, and then we just recently stepped away from that. We still kept it going for a couple of years, but I've been most recently in the last 6 years involved in trophy truck racing in the desert, and so we have full tubular chassis. Adam Fitza built dialed trophy truck, spare no expense, sequentially welded tubing, and the LS powered.
36 inches of travel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Vision wheel bead locks. These are forged bead locks. The trick is wheels you can get, and lots of travel and hit the desert as fast as you can. And you're doing like a buck, $1.20, in flats. And Andre Lauren's our driver, and Kerry King is our nav guy, and Adam is our guy that builds it and makes it badass and fixes it, and I think we got sixth out of 70 trucks last year, and Motul Lubricants is our title sponsor, and we've been very successful with Motul and their branding platform in the U.S. and now most recently we just developed a UTV program with Polaris at the factory level. So now we basically are, given the most trick 1,000 turbo S's, and we take a 4-seater and chop the roll cage off, and Adam builds a complete custom chassis. And I said to Adam, I go, this year we need to do something different in the UTV category, because everybody can afford a UTV. Can't afford it? Finance it. And, basically you get yourself a trick, UTV for 30, 40 grand. Well, it's a very big market, and so we're the official branding platform for Motul lubricants globally in 350 countries with our likeness of the vehicle with the oil bottle, And so we decided, I go, this year we need to do something different. We need to be, again, I was sitting in a meeting many years ago, and very lucky to be involved with Troy Lee Designs this is my 22nd year, and being, very good friends with, Cody Swansborough has been very good to us in Canada, and, of course, Troy Lee and the whole team down there. And
how did you meet Troy?
Well, dude, through mountain biking, dude. We just got, and then of course, and mountain biking was first, and obviously being on the mic and, getting hooked up there, and then, basically, being fully kitted, like full fresh kits every day, buddy. We had freshies pretty much every day. And so we'd be, killing it. And, and it's super, it's not even a real to express how a special time it was. And, and then so, Troy and I would hang out at, the main RedBull events, in the US. And then all of a sudden our moto team started migrating in the US. We did a few rounds of Supercross, and I'm down there with Troy and my kids going to A1. We go to A1 and hang out in the TLD pits at the VIPs. And then we go over to Disneyland and crush that show. It was like really great time for sure. But we were at a meeting and I'll never forget it. Troy says, you know what? And there's a whole big group of heavy hitters. McGrath was in the room, and Jeremy McGrath, if anybody knows. But and he goes, it's easy. Just be 10% better than everybody else. That's it.
Easy.
It's easy. Just be 10% better. Hold the door, smile. Just be a little bit better. And I've actually taken that to my heart. I always try to do something just a little more than you need to.
Yeah.
And that's sort of how I live my life. And I've been very.
You don't have to be 100% better than someone. You just have to be 10% better all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. Yeah, totally. So yeah, it's been really super cool. You're going down to Supercrosses and hanging out with friends, both in moto and mountain bike, and it's been wicked.
And never any calls or desires to get back on the mic when you're actually in the moto world, moving on from the mountain bike world?
Yeah, mountain bike is way more fun to announce than moto because it's just so loud and it's bumblebees after a while. It's very droning for sure. So I do love the mountain bike scene. I think that maybe some events or some cameos here in the near future will be in order for sure. But I certainly don't want to sit there all day.
Yeah, you've done that.
Dude, I was up at like 7 a.m. and there's 40 rows of spandex, and we're getting ready to do an XC event, and it's starting to snow, and then because I didn't even go to bed that night because sleeping's for pussies, and we'd pull the vent and we'd go all day and we'd make it get the XC done, and then we'd go into dual slalom or downhill and have fun with the crew, and yeah, it was one hell of a time.
So Crankworx is like a week, right?
Yeah.
Or 10 days, know. And, I've done a lot of pink bike shows and hosting, and then I've done, a lot of live announcing as well. And I know that the voice takes a beating.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so by the time you got to the Slopestyle, the big show, the marquee event at the end of the week, your voice is like,
oh, dude, I know.
It's like a slipping clutch.
I was a goddamn Olympic athlete with my vocal cords because I talked for 7 days, pretty much 10 hours a day, nonstop.
Yeah. And people don't even realize how hard it is unless they try to do it.
No, and try to come up with, content that's not, well, I'm sorry, I'm ridiculous as it is, but it's a pull mentally and physically, and try to, keep on your game. Yeah. So
you got to be mentally sharp, and you have to be, correct with people's, pronunciation of their name, of their past results. Read the numbers, say something funny, say something interesting, do it again. Next racer, what have you got now? Boom. It's like, it's hard to go.
And then it progressed into as the show evolved, then production came in. There was a production team, and you're wearing a headset, and it's all right. In my ear,
and a producer,
my director is saying, "Okay, Brad, sell the Levi's in 10, 9." And I'm like, it's been a great day here in Whistler, British Columbia, but you know what? Nothing better than my 501 Levi's. Check out the big screen. 3, 2, 1, bam! Big screen would light up. Bradman would walk out. And
there's a whole van. People,
production
pushing buttons and stuff,
making happen, making grilled cheese sandwiches on stuff.
But you got to keep talking and keeping the crowd entertained while you're listening to this, and the lead-ins and the lead-outs,
And I would get fed a lot of content when I worked with a good director, TJ Walker, was phenomenal, and it was
From Boomhouse.
Yeah, loved him, and he's a very good guy, and their whole team was a pleasure to work with, and so we would do.
Was Tara Tegan there yet?
Yeah, Tara was there as well. Yeah, worked with her many a times at over.
She's an Olympic athlete.
I know.
She's an Olympic half pipe rider.
I think she's into me. I know I don't think so. I love you, Tara.
We announced the World Cup of Snowboarding for many years with Tim Milne.
Yeah, Tim.
For 4 years. And
Ride Lounge.
In the Ride Lounge. And we did the Sacred Ride after, but it was the World Cup of Snowboarding. And, the pressure's on when the person next to you nails the piece. And then it's comes to you, and then you got to nail the piece, and it goes back to them, and it comes back to you, and then
you got to be flowing.
The pressure's on.
You got to be flowing, and don't drop the ball. Like you're talking, about something, and you got to pay attention, but yet you really don't give a shit because you're looking at your, whatever.
You're multitasking in your brain, and then bet it back over the net.
Yeah, I'm getting tired. Walk me out, right?
Yeah. It's like a verbal tennis game sometimes,
It's exactly what it is, and
no matter how good you are at tennis, you're never as good as a wall.
So, and this is something I learned from TJ, is dead air is okay.
It's okay to be quiet.
It's okay.
Let's have a moment.
Yeah.
That was okay.
It's okay.
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
But and it was really cool because what he taught me was, as I progressed doing all the announcing, was one thing that you can do very well. You can talk fast. But if you can control like a throttle,
have a power band, but can be able to roll it off too.
So if I start talking, I'm like, oh my God, that guy's amazingly fast with the time of 4:21.63. Man, was that an amazing Cedric Grazia with the fastest time of the day. Instead of just being monotone, you're hearing an announcer that just is flat as my ass, pancake. No, clearly it's amazing. But you know what I mean? It sucks. You just don't want to listen to that guy. So if you can have the voice do the roll.
Fluctuate.
And you got to have the low. Not many people have low. I'm very lucky to have the low. I don't know if it's luck. Is it luck? I don't know.
You're blessed with vocal cords.
I'm blessed. Yeah.
La 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 la.
Never could sing.
Yeah, me neither. You know what? The vibration of my vocal cords is not a pleasant experience. We could remember the lyrics. You and I could be rock stars if we could just sing. Yeah. There's just one little small thing stopping us.
Yeah, can't.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
We've partied like rock stars.
Oh my God, you have no idea. Thank God there was no cell phones back then.
You know what? Like what you did is what you did, and people weren't shooting and filming everything, so you could get away with a lot more.
There was a lot of things.
And things just happened.
Do you happen to have a pencil and a piece of paper? I can draw a lot of things to scale.
1-to-1.
Yeah. I don't know.
And it happened here. And here's a map of the situation.
Yeah. So it's been a hell of a run, Tippie, and it's really cool to just see how the industry is vibrant now. Like it's really amazing, and it's
still growing.
It is, and it's just again, we talked about progression, how it's changed and
new disciplines.
Yeah.
And every discipline is at a higher level than ever before. And things like e-bikes as well,
Is Brian Lopes a vampire? I don't know. Does the guy age? Like the guy is still crushing it, dude.
Oh, well, he's still so ripped he needs tape.
Dude, I'll never forget at Crankworx. This is what a wicked moment. And Lopes comes and wins the dual slalom, and he's just a demon. Like, for those of you back in the day that would watch these...
Explosive.
Dude. And we're talking 5,000 people littering the dual slalom, and it's like the show, dude. And it's like... We're down to the final bracket, and it's Lopes, and who else would have been? Lopes, and what was the guy to Europe that was just a demon?
Oh, Thomas Slavic, was he there yet? No, that was pre-Thomas Slavic. Well, CG did well in some of those, but the dual slalom racer was RedBull painted helmet.
Yeah.
And he was like...
Not Atherton.
No, he was like Czech or something.
Yeah, you Czech. You're totally right.
Yeah. Dark hair, mind blank right now. Yeah, quiet guy.
Anyway, so it's a top fuel drag race right now.
Michael
Morosi, thank you very much.
Yeah,
and God, he's and man, can that guy party? He's a.
Have you seen his viral video of him going down in the lead and wipes out, and then he gets passed by the other three guys? He gets back on his bike, catches up, builds momentum, and he does the wall ride up and over them.
Over top of bro.
Yeah, and then airs over them and then takes the win.
I love you, Michael Morosi. I just want to get that off my chest right now. Thank you. Back to you, Brett.
I really like you, Michael Morosi. I don't know if I love you. I don't know you well enough.
I feel like I'm sliding down a rope in gym class. Anyway. So man, that was insane. And then, okay, so Lopes wins by a hair. And it was amazing. It was electric in the corral at the bottom at Crankworx and early Crankworx. And I'm trying to feed. The media's around, like you can't even move. Like people are on you. Like it's like cameras are hitting you.
Yeah,
and
paparazzi.
Yeah, totally.
Mamarazzi, the whole bit.
Yeah, Brian. Everybody's trying to get his. And I got the mic. I got the voice over top of 6,000-7,000 people. I can say what I want. Shut up, bitches. And I go, Brian, how does it feel to win? And I go, what kind of glasses do you got on your head? He grabs his glasses into the trickiest racing jackets. I think they were like a white pearl with a little metal fleck in it, and this crazy yellow, quite transparent lens, sexy as fuck. And I go, I pull him, he goes, these are Oakley thermonuclear protection. You could shoot me square in the skull with a 12 gauge and my eyeballs would be perfectly intact. And he goes, boom. I go, we should give those glasses away. And he goes, let's just, and he goes, when he throws these probably, limited edition, one of whatever. And yeah, it was a pretty wild moment for me, for sure.
That's cool.
And then, of course, I put her in reverse, backed her out, and the media went in and ate him alive.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I had a funny moment with Lopes when I was asked to entertain the crowd at the Deep Summer Photo Contest, Pro Photographer Shootout, up at Crankworx. And they had 1,000 people in the Chateau Whistler. And, I said, okay, well, the judges are going to pick the winner. How's it going, everyone? Enjoying Crankworx. Nice to see you. And told some jokes. And then they asked me to do a cupcake eating contest where you had to eat a cupcake. And then the first person to whistle into the mic won this carbon fiber full face helmet.
Shut up.
So I picked a few people random out of the audience, and I picked Brian Lopes for a little celebrity package. I picked my wife just because she's hot and she's cool, get her up there.
Scorch her.
And just, a few random people, some of the coastal crew, and we start the whistle. Boom, everyone starts eating this cupcake, and Brian just wolfs it down, and he's trying to whistle into the mic. He's the first one on the mic, but he can't because he's like still got the cupcake as well. So he's like, and some other dude and then a girl are up there. They're trying to finish a cupcake and they're all blowing into my mic. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird. And someone whistles before Brian. And she wins the full face helmet. And he's choked because he's so competitive at everything he does.
Do not lose. Yeah.
He's competitive at brushing his teeth.
I know,
you know what I mean? Like, and he's choked. And so I award the helmet to him. And then everyone, saddles off back to their chairs. And as he leaves, he picks up a half-eaten piece of cupcake on the ground, and with the icing, he smears it in my face in front of 1,000 people as he walks off the stage. And I can feel it smear. And as he walks off the stage, I just reach out and I grab him by the jersey and the arm, and he's already stepped and committed to stepping off the stage. And he's like, oh, he's kind of stuck there. And I pull him in and twist him, and then it's a full-on wrestling match. But Brian's like 170. He's ripped, but
he's jacked.
I'm like 220.
Yeah.
And so I wrestle him around a bit, throw him around a bit, and then I reach down and I get some of the cupcake and I wipe all the icing off my face and I face wash him with the icing on stage, and then discard him off the stage.
Security, eh?
And went on with the show.
Oh my God!
And the crowd was loving it.
My problem, I would have got angry and I would have started
suplexed him or something.
Oh yeah, that would have been darling. That's another one actually at Crankworx one year. We were down there and Big D's like, Radley. For those of you that know, Radley, I need you in my next movie. I'm like, what's wicked, dude? I'm super stoked, right? I've known, Derek for many years, a Kamloops boy. And
speaking about the New World Disorder series, of course.
Yeah. And so I'm like, sick, dude. I'm in. He's, well, meet us at Function Junction, I think it was, is where we were. And they were filming the intro to New World Disorder 10.
Dust and Bones.
Yeah. And I was the destroyer, the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world.
Because everyone was in wrestling, Mexican wrestling masks and wrestling tights.
And Scotty Dixon.
They found tights for you?
I had yellow ones, and I put a sock in my gaunch.
Oh.
Told a big hug down there, a big wool sock.
Yeah.
And I had a feather boa, a big red pink feather boa, and a yellow mask and yellow tights, and big huge belly on the Brad man, and walked in, and Scotty Dixon.
That wasn't padding.
No, Scott. It
was stock.
It was not a convex camera lens either. From Axel laying on the ground, taking the shot, and walking in all animated, wasted. We've been preloading before the show started, and Scotty Dixon handmade this beautiful the belt. You got to see it. You could go Google it and check it out. But it was a hell of a time. And then that night we're doing the Rumble, I think it was. I can't remember the name, but there was all the guys were there, and Robbie Borden and I, they got blood capsules, and they want me to kind of fake punch them, right? I've been cranking tequilas like a demon, not like these little guys. Like, come on, let's give her. And so Bradman's pretty lit, and he's got the blood capsules. Well, I'm lining up the shot, and there's camera Axel's here, and a couple other camera guys are ready to win the shot, and I line it up, and I kind of walk through it, kind of pendulum, keep the elbow. But when I did, I got excited, and I fucking stepped forward, and I clocked Bordeaux in the jaw.
Oh,
full smoker, dude.
You're 6'4", 342 pounds.
Yeah,
he's like shorter than Richie Slay.
Solid.
But solid.
If you cut him in half, the growth rings are gnarly tight. Yeah. Right? Seriously. Bordeaux.
Like a fire hydrant.
Totally. Exactly. That size. Yeah. Anyway, and I'm like, dude, because I love the guy, right? Like we all do. And I'm like, buddy. So I jump on him, and I'm hugging him. I'm like, he's like, he's all muscle and fucking gnarly. Hit me back. Hit me in the jaw. Like, and he's like, he goes, fucking rights, and just clocks the Brad man like full. I take the hit. I'm like, okay, we're good. Sorry, man. And that was it. Well, guess what happened? The next day, I had to talk for 10 hours.
Oh no,
dude, man.
Yeah.
We had some damage. Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah, because he's like a little MMA fighter.
Dude, you see his hands, they're meat hooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But
man.
Anyway, so I survived to live another tale, and that was another great moment. But yeah, it was, thanks to Big D and I actually just went riding with him about a week ago. He was up here in the Loops at Easter with
he shreds,
Mom. Dude.
He still shreds.
Dude, man, he's got some kick. He's flattening her out a little bit. It's good to see, man. I love that.
Well, he's been mountain biking a long time.
He has.
And, he rides down in Nelson, which is, pretty aggressive riding. Steep mountains.
Yeah.
And,
Bradman's nervous of the steeps. Make me a little nervous. Just because I've got so much mass. It just makes me nervous.
That's why you went for the Magura brakes.
Oh, the 220 rotor, dude.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Oh my god, man! Why would you even want to run the thickest brake rotor on the planet? Are the Maguras?
Yeah.
Modulation, dude. Like, I can go down. I go down stuff steeper than I can walk, and I can control a skid or a non-skid.
Yeah, they have feel. They have modulation.
And the lever play.
Yeah.
The lever play is special. It really is. It's a phenomenal brake system, and I will never not run Magura for sure. Yeah. Especially being a big dude. Brakes and suspension, but brakes are for pussies. But when you need them, get Magura.
Did you hear about the guy that was addicted to brake fluid?
No.
He says he can stop anytime.
Of course you can.
What about the guy that was afraid of speed bumps? He's slowly getting over it.
Oh my God.
So, you're a big man, like you say. You used to be a much bigger man.
Yeah.
You've gotten back into cycling.
Yeah, big time, yeah.
And you've been riding, I look on Instagram, you're riding pretty much every day.
Yeah.
Or night riding as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to, if it's nice out, which we're very lucky in the BC interior that our arid climate allows for not a lot of rain, and but when it does rain, it's extra special because the dirt's hero, as you know.
Velcro here.
Oh, it's so deadly.
Kamloops is legendary for a reason.
Like the flats. The flats feel like they're berm because you're stuck to it. I'm running these Schwallowy tires. They're absolutely nuts. Where are you running?
Maxxis.
What one? What's your front?
I do Assegai 2.5 double D casing with the max grip And on the back, I got the 2.4 DHR2 with the Max Terra.
I've got the Swallowbee Eddy Currents with a hardwall casing, but it's a 2.8 in the front with a 2.6 in the rear. And the thing about when you're hitting a little bit of a hit, and I don't go high. I'm not trying to be the guy. I'm keeping her 6 inches as my 8 inches. I'm good.
Yeah.
After that, I don't need to, man.
It's bigger than a credit card error, but not enough to hurt you.
I don't need to hurt myself, right?
Yeah.
But what happens is when I land, even if it's 6 or 8 inches, I'm coming in hot, really hot. And so it's like, hold on, and the nice thing about that 2.8 that I find, I can overshoot, and that tire just grabs and throws me back in the trail. It's so sick. And then, Dustin Adams has been phenomenal. And
former Canadian downhill champion.
Yeah, dude, giant.
Star of in Cranked movie. In Crank One.
And now the founder of We Are One Composites here in Kamloops. And I'm running his wheels with the Industry 9 hubs. And they are terrific. We should actually listen to that hub if we can. And it's
they look like sick wheels.
Oh, dude. They're really dirty, but we could in the outtakes, if you want to check that out, we'll show you what they look like. But guys
like Steve Vanderhook are like sending it on them, riding with Steve.
And the beauty thing, they're made here in Kamloops, British Columbia, like hand laid, hand cut right here. Like there's some special stuff. I've seen some prototypes of the
Aggie's running them.
Yeah, dude. They're absolutely amazing, and we saw something special the other day. We were in there, and with Cody Swansboro and I went and popped in, and we got to see the DH bike.
Are we allowed to say that?
I don't know.
You might have heard it here first. This is a news break, a news leak. Yeah, edit.
Anyway,
he's switching right now.
It's super cool, and being a bit of a bike geek, steer tube angle looks good.
Is it a DH bike or not an all-mountain bike?
Oh no, it's a whaler.
Oh, what?
Yeah, we were not allowed to be shared suspension travel details.
This could be a news first right here.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Bradman's on the gas, kids. And so yeah, it's really cool looking. I can't say anything more than that. Carbon, and Dusty Dog is the man behind the scenes, and we know that guy's fast.
Well, Dusty, when back in the day, he rode for Rocky Mountain, he rode for Giant. And he actually got third in the Norba downhill circuit, racing all the big dogs of the day, John Kirkcaldy and all the World Cup guys. And he actually got fourth in a World Cup UCI downhill in Washougal, Washington, at the first race, World Cup, that Steve Pete ever won.
Wow.
So Steve Pete won, and Dustin was, I think, 2.2. I don't know what he was behind, but he was fourth behind Steve Pete with the win.
I love Pete,
and that was our local boy, And
yeah, he
was the fastest Canadian downhiller, up until Stevie Smith, did his thing for many years and rocked the world. And cool to see him successful with We Are One.
Oh my God, yeah. There's so much stuff coming out of that place, and it's really, really cool.
Good staff like Dave McInnes. My former mechanic for 10 years. And great guy. He's a sick rider too on the shore too.
Completely assembled the A team over there. It's really, really cool. And I was concerned, being a bigger dude. I'm like, what do you think, man? Bradman's a big guy. Carbon, steel's real. At the end of the day.
So you were nervous about doing carbon, but
I was totally like, and I don't know. I can ride, and we're going through the corners. We're gonna make the tires peel, and we're not touching brakes. Right? We'll use my weight to carry me down. I like the descent, and man, they're great. Like they're really cool. I can feel them flexing for sure. You can feel it. It's kind of, but it kind of slingshots you. It's pretty trick to when you're getting at it. And tire pressure is the game, as we all know, and it's like marbles on concrete here sometimes. And
what pressure do you use?
I'm about 35 in the rear, 34, 35, and about a 32 in the front.
Okay, yeah, I'm like 28, 25.
Yeah, I got to run a little harder. Yeah. Yeah, I got
Well, that's the same as like Claw and the guys who are smaller guys, but they run those big pressures because they're going so big.
I was nervous about tubeless, bro. No, we're just going to drill that out and stick a tube in there. We're good.
Yeah.
No, we can't do that. We're not doing that. You should see the way the rim tape is. It's so seamless, dude. It doesn't even look like it's there. It just looks like carbon. Yeah, it's super great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the We Are One wheels I'm really excited about, and Yeah.
You just like tricking your bike out
Dude.
much as the riding, I
For
bet.
sure, dude. No, I'm not that much of a nerd. Like I've never purchased a titanium fastener in my life on my bike, ever, not once.
You got them for free.
I got it for free. But anyway, but yeah. No, bikes have been I've been very lucky to have some, amazing partners over the years, and providing me some trick equipment like yourself, and I've been in the background doing my thing. And I think that now I've had this, we briefly talked on it a while back, but on the e-bike platform is utterly completely changed my life, Brett. Like it's, I've had the coolest.
Because you have regular bikes when you have e-bikes, but you love riding your e-bike.
My e-bike and I were bros. Like we are one. Yeah, like it's like, because it's pedal assist, you have to be pedaling to make it work. And Bosch technology, the fantastic thing about it is once you learn the bike, just when you learn your new friend, but now you guys are tight, and you know that we're coming up to a switchback, and it's like this. You start wheeling at 4 o'clock, and you drop her down over at 2 o'clock in the corner, and just to have the ability to get the lactic acid build up in your legs, and then walk out of it by changing your E setting. I almost change my E settings on my motor as much as on my rear derailleur. So if I see a bigger hill coming, I'll jump her into turbo. I'm cool. I want to have fun, bro. So I'm going to tinker Juarez in 98 up that mofo. skip, get to the top, drop her down into tour, or EMTB is common in the Bosch terms. Eco, I don't really need to run eco. We're cool. I'm a big dude.
There's eco?
Yeah. What is that? Is that today's Earth Day? Isn't it? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, yeah. Bless me. But so that, to have that luxury, and last year, I was riding quite a bit on my 2018, 2019.
Quite a bit. You're riding every day.
Yeah, and I just last year I was so big in the fall. We had an early winter here in October. We got shut down early in Kamloops, where we had snow on the ground, so it kind of wrecked the trails from October on. We can ride till mid-December, man, down in the valley. Like snow still kitted, fully winterized, but we're still being able to get some riding in, and we got shut down early. So I just went to one of my favorite pastimes is breweries and wings. So I cranked a lot of that and put on a lot of weight, and I just said to myself, like, basically November of last year, I was like, I'm over it, dude. I am a big man. I'm going to tie my shoes up. I'm sweating, 340 pounds plus, and
342.5.
Yeah, 8.8.
0.8.
Yeah, and I looked phenomenal in a leopard skin thong. It just wasn't, I just had
you can't always wear
I just
that.
had to lift the front up just so you could see the front, right? Anyway, no big deal. And so I decided to get into a weight loss program. So I've been, really working on that heavily. Just the only reason, there's no health scares or anything of that nature. I was just, I want to shred my.
Well, you've
body.
leaned, right? How much weight did you lose? If you don't mind telling us.
As of last Wednesday, it was 90 pounds, bro.
90 pounds you lost.
I saw a small human.
Yeah.
I lost a small human. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like going riding with a small midget sitting on your back.
No. Yeah. It's like Guy Perret and Muddy, his dog, on the gas tank. Remember Muddy the dog?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was fun.
Good for you. Yeah.
So I feel great, and honestly, obviously, the bike performs a whole lot better. It's weird, like throwing my gut into a corner to carry the apex, and then pushing it back to, make the escalator. It wasn't as really conducive to fast times. So, no, I've 24 inches off my gut. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, it looks good on you, man, and I'm proud of you. And we went first read last night.
Yeah.
Up in Greenstone Mountain.
Yeah.
And
with Jaker.
Yeah, my little brother Jake and some of the old Kamloops crew.
Yeah.
And we've ridden. We did the Epic before.
Yeah.
Up in, that was nice.
The Dewdrop.
And
one of the Big D's favorite zones.
Yes.
He loves the Dewdrop.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I love it. Just the view over the lake and just the flowy.
I love the bobcats in August. You go out there, and it's one of the largest fallow deer ranches up in that region, right? So all the bobcats sit up on this ridge, Tippie, and they sit there and like, which one do you think, Marv? That one? Nah. And they basically sit there and sun themselves all day and go take out one. And it's pretty gnarly. You should see the amount of skulls and carcasses up there. It's crazy.
The animal kingdom.
Yeah, it's a very crazy spot. It's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're going to go for a night ride tonight.
We are.
Yeah.
We're going to gear up after this and go do some classic Kamloops riding.
A bachelor.
I think we might take him to batch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take my producer, Mark Warner.
Yeah. Take you out for a little rip, buddy, and we'll make sure it's going to be a little dusty.
It's Kamloops.
It's Kamloops. We're good. It's early this year though, but June's coming. June we get our highest annual precipitation in the month of June, and
Velcro.
oh,
everywhere.
buddy, I love June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Velcro.
Totally. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hey, do you have a dad joke? We're gonna close here. Do you have a dad joke?
A dad joke.
You know, something that's not too nasty.
Okay. Yeah, I got a dad joke.
Okay.
And I think you already know it. I know you know it because you pretty much know them all.
Yeah. Sometimes.
How does it go? The string walks into a bar, walks up to the bartender, and he goes, "Hey, can I borrow some money or whatever?" And the guy goes, "You got to get out of here." And the guy wouldn't serve him, and the string walks back in. He goes, "Hey man, I just need to get myself a beer here." And the guy goes, "No, we don't serve your kind around here." And the string goes back outside, and he ties himself into a knot, and he phrases off his hair like this, and he comes back in. He goes, "Hey, can I get myself a beer, please?" And the guy goes, "Aren't you that piece of string that just walked in?" He goes, "No, man, I'm afraid not." And
It's a classic dad joke.
you heard that one, right?
Oh yeah, for
course,
sure.
yeah.
I love it.
Took me a bit to get into mode because it's been a while.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. No, man, I'm afraid not, bro. Yeah.
So a rabbi, a priest, and an e-biker walk into a bar, and the bartender says, "What is this, some kind of joke?" This other guy walks into a bar. No, two guys walk into a bar, which was stupid because the second guy should have saw it after the first guy did it.
Oh, God.
Or how about the guy that walked into a bar and he asked for Corona and 2 Hurricanes? And the bartender says, "Sure, that'll be 2020. Awesome. Well, there we go. Nice having a word with you. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Looking forward to a shred tonight. You've got a long storied career in the mountain bike world, and
Super stoked, dude. Yeah.
you've done a lot of things, made waves, and entertained a lot of people. And just for a classic,
Oh, yeah.
give him your best. Shut the front door. One of the phrases. Right straight from Big Brad.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. And actually, I this is a true story. So I'm sitting in the MC Tower, and Elodie Brown, spent many a time on the couch with Elodie Brown, love her. And actually, the shut the front door phrase is hers. She actually coined it, but I could say it.
Yeah.
She couldn't bang it like the Bradman. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, and we came up with other ones. Holy mother trucker, holy shiitake mushrooms. Like there was many, right? But,
Yeah.
Like, here we go. Shut the front door. Or I think it might be a little bit loud. Shut the front door. You know.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Old classic stuff. You know, like one of the moments defining for me on that particular line was when Zink did the big 3 at Rampage.
Yeah.
And it was like that massive, I think was it the Oakley Sender?
Yeah.
It was just like, and it made the NBC roll, like the plays of the week, NBC. And it was, I think after that phrase went ballistic.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fitting.
Very stoked about it. It was
Awesome. Well, it's a classic line, and you're a classic dude. Thanks for having a word with us.
Thanks, buddy.
Right on.
Thanks for coming back to Kamloops and riding with us.
Yeah, man. The big Brad. Brad Ewen. Thanks for checking it out, everybody. Ow!